All right, guys, so quick video. Sean and Dr. Margolis asked me to do a quick rundown on the Peep best compliance study. With sort of the evolution of these COVID patients, we're finding out that while the high Peep table works for a lot of the patients, there's another subset of the patients earlier in their disease process or even later in the disease process that just haven't developed that consolidation type of pathology where the high Peep table actually may be detrimental to these patients. So the goal of this is to optimize Peep on an individual patient. So it's in the pearls that we put out, it's in our protocol, but it's what's called a Peep compliance study. And so, Ben, if you'll zoom in up here, I went ahead and wrote it out. This is my chicken scratch handwriting. So if you want a little better typed out version of it, it's in the pearls and it's in our protocols. But essentially, you're going to note the static compliance at whatever level of Peep you're at currently, and then go ahead and take their Peep up by 2 or 3. Wait 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you're going to go back and you're going to note the static compliance again. If the static compliance number went up, don't get focused on what the actual number is, just did the number get bigger? So if the number gets bigger, you're going to go up on the Peep by another 2. And then you're going to circle back around, and then 5 minutes later, you're going to note the static compliance, and you're going to say, did it go up or did it go down? If it went down, if that number got smaller, then you've reached the best Peep for the compliance of their lungs. So anything above that, you potentially are doing damage and over-distending the alveoli. So if it went down, you're going to stay, or stayed the same, you're going to go back down to whatever your previous level was. And that's going to be your Peep of best compliance for that time period. Now, an hour later, you may need to do this again, and potentially you will have recruited some lung based on that Peep. But in the initial study, that's how you do it. Okay? We're going to do it on the ventilator so you guys can kind of see it there, but that's how you're going to do it. So the nice thing is everybody that remembers the LTVs where you actually had to do an inspiratory hold to get a static compliance, with the Hamilton and the advanced monitoring on this ventilator, it does a rolling static compliance on every single breath. So all you have to do is go to the monitoring tabs. So I've got them running now at a Peep of 5. So we're going to go in and we're going to note the static compliance. It's on page 3 of the monitoring. So you're going to click monitoring and then you're going to go to page 3. Right now my static compliance is 38.4. And it's going to change breath to breath, but roughly we're looking at about 38 for the static compliance. So now I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. I'm going to go up to a Peep of 8. We'll confirm that. And then we'll go over the static compliance, and this is a little bit exaggerated, right? We're not waiting the 5 minutes, but they're pig lungs, so they're going to recruit a little bit faster because there's no thoracic cavity. But you notice my static compliance got better. My number got bigger. It goes up to 44 in this case. So if we note this after 5 minutes, we say, okay, we were able to recruit some lung. So then you're going to go back and you're going to take your static compliance, or you take your Peep up to 10. You're going to go up another 2. So if you notice, we do that, and the static compliance essentially stays the same. So we found as much lung as possible. That's the best Peep we're going to get on this patient, or the most compliance we're going to get on this patient at this point. So if we were to keep going, or say, oh, we're going to go on the high Peep table, we may actually damage their lungs by over-distending their alveoli. So the guidance that I've gotten from Dr. Margolis and Sean in talking to Dr. Margolis was essentially we should be doing this on every single one of our ventilated patients. So get them packaged up, get them on the ventilator at whatever level Peep you've got. Go ahead and run this study, preferably in the room before you go bouncing them around a whole lot. And then figure out what their Peep of best compliance is. And then leave them with that Peep for the transport. Unless your transport's 3.5 hours long, and then you might want to do it again in an hour or so. Feel free to